and rotted and has now destroyed Germany. It was so bad that when Deutsche Bank tried to merge with the smaller bank so that way they could unload these toxic assets, the smaller bank said, no, we don't, it's okay, we don't want this deal. They didn't want to merge with them, right? Because they understand that this bank is going down. That's why Deutsche Bank closed down their America firms and their Asian firms, man.
They just laid off 18,000 people.
God. So you see, when Europe goes down, then America's gonna be hit. And then you got these raids coming, the jobs are gonna start ceasing. And all you people out here buying ice cream, you know, walking around enjoying your Saturday, pretty soon you're gonna be going around looking for jobs, looking for food, because you're not gonna be able to feed your bellies, to become overweight. You know, you're gonna be, your stomach's gonna touch your back in that day.
That's right. That's right. Number one, and famine is the worst death.
Worst death, man.
Famine is the worst death, man. If you haven't eaten like 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah, the scripture there it's better to die by the sword than by hunger. Because imagine going through that extenuating pain, not eating, your stomach growling and hurting. You know, you better off getting stabbed or getting shot by a gun and die that way.
And then when you got little kids, when you got little babies, man, your babies are crying, "Mommy, mommy, I'm hungry." And then you're looking at your kid like, "Damn, you're good to eat."
And they could be yelling at they could be screaming at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
You know? Imagine kids screaming and hollering because they ain't eating in 2 days.
But you guys love.
You don't want to kill your own kids.
You know?
Just to stop that pain, the cry in your ear.
Right? But then eventually that cry is gonna stop. And like I don't know where the scripture is at, but it's a scary ass scripture. It talks about you're gonna witness your children breathing out their spirits, man. What is that? That's gonna be your kids just dying, just like they're breathing their last breaths, man. Breathing out their spirit because they're gonna fucking die of starvation.
I got Lamentations chapter 4 verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger.
A sword is a quick death.
Yep.
You know? Is that it?
No, it's more.
It says the hands, but these, I'm moving to the top. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, but these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughters of my people. Hey, matter of fact, go to 2 Kings 6, because that's what gives a better description. Because in the time of that siege, what was that? Sodom. Yeah. In the time of that siege, man, you know, our people was fucking stuck, man. They couldn't get out. You know, they tried to escape. They was gonna get basically chopped off, man. You know. So what happened when you get sieged in? You got no access to food. You got no access to anything. So they resorted to eating dove, dookie. You know what I'm saying? Eating other things. And then they had to resort to eating their own children, man. You know. You know. It's 2 Kings 6 and 28.
Got it. This is 2 Kings 6 and 28. And the king said unto her, you know what?
This is
gonna go up a little bit.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Let me go to 20.
Hey, that's when
they're making that deal, huh? Yeah, making that deal, yeah.
Let me go ahead and 25. This is 2 Kings 6 and 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the 4th part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver.
So you know they was on their last. You know, this is all they had, man, to barter, man. You know what I'm saying? Wow. That's called desperation right there. Yep. You know, that's desperation right there that they were dealing with, man. It's gonna get like that in America. It's gonna be desperation out here. You know? And the next thing that you're gonna see is somebody that's looking right next to you, you know what I'm saying, looking like a big piece of steak. Go ahead.
And the king of Israel was passing up upon the wall, and there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord doth not help thee, when shall I help thee?
You know, and this is a man of sovereignty, man. It's a king. You know, when Donald Trump does tariffs upon different countries, it don't affect the higher ups, the people that's in the ruling class. It affects the lower class people of that society. You know what I'm saying? So for it to get that bad for a king, somebody that should have, you know what I'm saying, storage houses full of grains, rice, and, you know, all types of meats and fruits. And that's how bad, you know, it got bad. You know, he didn't have access to nothing, to where he's like, look, Lord ain't helping me. Shit, how I'm gonna help you? Well, go ahead.
When shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. And we boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son, that we may eat him. And she said, and she hath hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth with it upon his flesh.
He got played, man. He got played. Into eating his son, man. You know how bad that is? You eat your son? You know? That's your heir right there. That's supposed to be your heir right there. You eat your son? That's bad, man. So you telling me that the Lord ain't gonna do this again? That's why the scriptures say it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Lord, man. You know, that's what these stories are for. These things that happen are gonna happen on a greater scale in these times, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna happen because guess what? The heart of America, the bloodline of it is these truckers, man. You know what I'm saying? Let the Lord rock this place with a big ass earthquake, okay, and shut down these freeways. Guess what? No traffic flow to get to these stores. No stocks that they can keep producing for these shelves. And then there's no food for 3 days. Everybody done bought everything up. Guess what that's gonna run into? A famine.
It's heavy because Time Magazine, this brother was telling me that Time Magazine, they be having word of the days, and their word of the day was dirty, which means scarcity, famine, or lack. That was it's spiritual. Wow. Right. That's a precursor for what's to come. You know, they know what they're doing. Right. All right, just like on their magazine, they had Donald Trump up there and Hillary Clinton, and they said the end is nigh, or the end is near.
Yup.
The Most High's putting the spirit on these devils to get rid of to really bring this shit, man.
Yeah.
You know.
I got the scripture. It's Deuteronomy 28:52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy power hath given thee, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. Right. He goes on. Let me skip down to 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. You know, so that's, you know, that happened in the past, and it's going to happen again, man. Because it's going to be a new siege, man. Scripture speak about that in 2 Corinthians 15, 2 Corinthians 16. All right? And it's going to get so bad because if you're resorting to eat a person, to eat a human, especially your children, that means there ain't no leaves to eat, there ain't no grass to eat, there ain't no birds to eat. That means it got bad, man.
Yeah, Esau like to break it down that it's like, you know, he break down the brain,
he said different parts of your brain work together to keep you socialized, but when you get to that point of famine and desperation, the part of your brain shuts down of logic of socialism, and then you resort to your beast-like state, and that's when you just do anything. It's kind of almost like before the Lord put his spirit of breath of life in us. We was walking around this motherfucker like beasts.
I got some. This is Jeremiah chapter 19 verse 8. And I will make this city desolate, and in hissing everyone that passes thereby shall be astonished, and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons, and eat the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat everyone the flesh of his friend in the siege.
Wow.
Damn.
Jeremiah, that's talking about America, man. That's talking about America, man. It's gonna hit hard. America's gonna hit really hard, man. It's gonna hit really hard, and guess what? Good for you people, man.
Right.
Good for you people, man. Because you guys don't want to. You guys are low on your law, low on the law of YAHAWASHI. Most High is nothing to play with, man.
Right.
He's really pissed off at this place, man. He's pissed off at you guys being homosexuals. You guys just doing whatever the fuck you guys want to do. You women hoeing around up and down the street, worshiping other gods, sitting on, just bouncing on rod to rod. And you men are so docile and so weak.
Right.
The Most High is really gonna fuck y'all up, man.
That's right.
You don't have to believe it, man, for it to happen, man.
Nope.
The Lord don't give a goddamn about nobody's opinion, man.
Nope.
These things are written, brother just read it, man, that people are gonna be eating their friends.
Yep.
So it's gonna happen. The Lord didn't just say it just to say it. His words are not empty, man.
Nope. He's a man that should not lie.
Yep.
Every
man that he should lie.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because if you guys would understand and just pay attention to the news, you could actually and then also read the Bible, so you could understand to actually what to look out for, what are the signs to come. You could actually see these prophecies are playing out. When Trump is out here, when he's putting up these tariffs on these other countries, everybody who knows about economics understands that trading with other nations raises wealth. He's systematically crippling America. So for when that day comes, there's famine in this earth, man. That wall they're building down in South America and South border, that shit isn't to keep these immigrants out. Exactly. It's keep you Americans in, so you fucking starve here and stuff, man. Because everybody knows that they've proven that there's democratic organizations that are paying these immigrants to march up here, and that they're paying them.
Build the wall.
Exactly, man. So you see, you gotta understand. See, there's this plan called Rex 84, which later got turned into the I think it's the King Alfred plan.
It was
which
first called that. Then
constantly, exactly, vice versa, right? And they keep updating this plan. But what are the main credo of this plan? In times of emergency, they're gonna go around and round up you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, because you are seen as enemy combatants here on this land. Right? Go for it, Doc.
It's Luke 19 and 43. For the day shall come upon thee that thy enemy shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee round and keep thee in on every side.
That's in Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was twofold. That happened during the time. The Lord was speaking on 70 AD when Rome was going to besiege the land of Israel, and we was going to spread. But then it's talking about also this time as well, because the same thing is going to occur all over again when Esau come in and use his executive orders to siege the whole United States, to declare national emergency as a code for martial law.
And it's crazy too, because you can see the veracity and the just the straight up ruthlessness of these Edomites, man, who ruled and were in power of Rome during that time of the 70 AD destruction of Jerusalem, and then eventually led to the destruction of Masada. You see, because you had some Israelites of the southern kingdom, who you would know today as the Negroes, that they fled to a little outpost. These were the Israelites who didn't want to take heed to the Most High's commandments to flee out of Jerusalem. Right. So they went to a little mountain base, thinking that they were going to be safe, you know, trusting in themselves, not obeying the Lord. So what they did is they went up to this mountaintop base, and just like in the Sumerians, who were besieged by the Assyrians, right? The northern kingdom, the Latinos, Native Indians, who got besieged by the today's Syrians, the Romans did the exact same thing. They encamped this whole fucking mountain with a wall. They built a wall around this whole mountain. And how did they break in? They literally dug out gorges of fucking dirt, tons of it, and built this ramp as bigger than these skyscrapers. Here, I'll get the picture of the skyscraper, man. They built a dirt ramp to the size of this fucking skyscraper to get to the top of these mountains. And you know how long that took? That took months for them to build. But this just shows you how much of a beast this Roman system is. How much these Edomites, how far they'll go to accomplish their goals, man. And imagine that, man. Imagine being in that town, eating fucking your leather belts because you're starving. Seeing this Roman army slowly building a ramp that when they get to you, they're gonna fucking kill you, man.
Anything was possible.
Right?
But the Romans was heavy into engineering.
Yep, exactly.
So that's why they did that. They was heavily into engineering.
Yep.
How to calculate
machines
what
of
to
war
do and make machinery to combat their enemy.
Yep.
They show you that in that necklace there.
Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire.
Yep.
How what's the name? Caesar.
Julius Caesar.
Yeah, Julius Caesar. How he built up a wall around the town, around that area, and kept them in and starved them out.
Yep. And that's these Edomites' MOs, man. See, because you gotta remember, man. You see, what empowers and drives these Edomites is Satan, right? And this is Satan's kingdom. So Satan has all this shit at his disposal. He's not like you Jakes out there, like can't even build a fence because you gotta wait until 2 paychecks so you get enough wood. No, this motherfucker will literally tax the whole population so he could get enough money, enough resources. And if he can't do that, get enough money that way, he'll put that shit on loan, and he'll take out massive amounts of debt to build a wall, to implement mass vaccination policies, man. I'm gonna give you a story, man. In World War, I think it was World War I, they had World War II. It's when they had to basically come up with the first computers. I think that was World War II. They had to figure out a way to find out the trajectories of the artillery, so that way when they shot their cannons, they wouldn't just shoot them blindly. They wanted to make sure they shot them right on top of those German motherfuckers' heads so they could kill them. So what did they do? The top heads, the top heads of Edom at that time figured that they would need to build a computer the size of a huge room, a huge warehouse. And then when they came up to they had all the plans down and everything, the scientists said, you know what, this isn't possible because we built this cathode ray tube computer that has thousands of cathode ray tubes because we didn't have transistors back then. They would have to change out 10 cathode ray tubes every 2 seconds or something like that, right? So it was impossible, man. Like, how the heck were you going to be able to change out all these light bulbs in that amount of time so this computer could make all these calculations? The fucking army came out here and they came up with a system to be able to change 40 cathode ray tubes in fucking 5 seconds. Wow. So they used all this dark money, or they call it black ops money to fund this, man. And that's why the devil, again, the weapons you see out here, these police here tasing people in the fucking face, using these radar microwave guns, that's only the tip of the spear. There's weapons that haven't even been brought out yet, that when you go to, you hear about the, but there's some crazy times coming though, ultimately, man.
Just to go back to where we was at.
I feel you, bro. I feel you, bro.
Alright, back in Jeremiah 19:9, and I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friends in the siege and straightness wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straighten them. Then shalt thou break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with thee. Yeah, that was it on that though.
You know, so it's we're in that time, man. So hey, man, it's really scary to be out here and not have a covering of YAHAWASHI.
Right.
You know. So go ahead. What you got?
This is 15th chapter.
This is Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
You know, it's like we're the holy mountain.
Right.
We're the holy mountain. We're blowing the trumpet for you people, because ultimately we care about our people, right? But you guys are not going to understand anything because the Most High put a blindness on you. But hey, it's prophecy. We have to. This is. If we don't do this, we're in trouble.
Yep.
Right. You know.
Can I tell you? Not to tell you. Watchmen. It take a lot of. You gotta be patient and stand on your watch.
Yeah.
And by you warning the people, that means you care about within your wall.
Yeah.
So we warn the people of Israel, which are within our wall spiritually. Yeah. And we warning them, hey, this is what's coming down. This is what's coming down the pipeline. Yeah. You know, that take a lot of care for your people. Yeah. Because we can easily be like, you know what, I'm not gonna let them know. Yeah. Let them know blindly. No, we have a job to do, and we have to do that to the blood to be wiped off our hands.
You got a lot of our people. You got a lot of our people who are just into getting this knowledge, man. These are those same people that it says, who lighteth a candle and put it under a bush, right? Because you got a lot of our Israelite brothers and stuff like that who are out there on social media, on Facebook, who are just reposting mimes, regurgitating, being parrots and stuff like that. You know, thinking that them posting shit, being a keyboard warrior is warning people, man. No, man, you're in a fucking echo chamber. And you're telling the same people who already know this shit. You're telling them. You're warning them. You're preaching to the choir and shit. Basically,
we're at war.
That's to their own detriment, though, because
exactly.
After the end of everything is said and done, each individual brother is gonna get tested. Yep. And everything you learned and however you were when the grace period was around, that's all you're gonna have. That's all you're gonna be equipped with. So if you was that type of guy that just reposted on social media, you on everybody comment board, but that's the farthest you went with it. But when your test comes, what do you think gonna happen to you, man? You gonna crack. Right. Versus a man who actually came out here, put the work in, went through afflictions, built their spiritual man up. When the test hit them, they're gonna be good. Cause you know it's gonna be you and wherever you was at that time. You know. We don't know how this thing is gonna kick off. We can't be like, we're gonna be at camp and it's gonna kick off, we all together, yeah, that's it. Nah, man, it's gonna be during, it may be during the week. Right. We don't even know that last Saturday was the last time we was holding camp. And then it's gonna be you, the Most High, and Texas.
I got one more first. This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 13. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doth make manifest is light. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepeth, and arise from the dead, and the Mashiach shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore being ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
So they got them unity camps and all that. You know, that unity camp, it makes no sense over there, man. A lot of them guys, you can tell that they just there. They're just fucking there because they heard there was Israelite and it was something that they could do. See, when you come over here at Great Millstone, we're gonna try to stir up your pure mind by way of remembrance. Like we were just speaking on the 70 AD. That occurred all over. We just broke down that it happened in the past and it's coming again. And for you to get your mind together now. You know, that's what we telling Jack. We ain't gonna be over there trying to bring all Israel together right now, because the Lord ain't with that right now, man. The Lord gonna cut off 2/3 of it. 2/3 sea line. Niggas gonna be gone. That's right. Yahawashi said he came to bring division. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord, like the brother was saying, all that unity, that's not scriptural. That's not in the scriptures. You know, you always had divisions among Israel. You had the house of David and you had the house of Saul.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And that's happening again. Because everything is reincarnated.
Right? Bro, when the kingdoms first split, when the southern and the northern kingdoms first split, when you read it in the King or the Chronicles, that shit was brutal.
Yeah.
You know that we was killing each other off.
Yeah.
You know, the southern kingdom going to attack the north. It was like hood shit, like you see in the hood. The fucking 18th Street versus the goddamn 6 O's and some shit. It was like that, man.
Green lights.
It was green. It was like if you. It was a green light was on you, you know?
Yeah.
If you was a southern kingdom, you got caught in the northern kingdom side, green light.
Yeah.
It was like that, man.
Yeah.
So it's always been like that, like you said, bro.
Yeah. It was so bad, Benjamin. They had to snatch up them women.
Yeah.
Because they tried, man, they was getting their ass handed to them, man.
They had no more women.
They are the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
Yeah.
One believed in reincarnation, the other one didn't.
So it's the same today. Everything that happened then is happening now. You know what I'm saying? So that spirit is off. That's why you think you don't see Great Millstone doing that. You don't see any camp from Great Millstone at those summits. You know, starting with our apostles. Apostles ain't never pushed that out there. And let's get together with HODC, HOD. Let's get together with Zabot, IUIC. The apostles ain't never do that.
You know how quick the Lord could just make you confused? He just had somebody come up there, random ass dude, start talking about what is the mark of the beast.
Right.
You got somebody from Sakari camp could be reading for Zabot.
Yeah.